It doesn't matter whether it is today or tomorrow. I suppose it's a matter of time itself. It could well be this week, purely just because the timing, I suppose, for this moment, in all the participants are there itself.
So it's not if, but when?
Yeah, it's more timing rather than. But it's not.
How significant is it?
Again, I suppose it just encompasses what China is aiming to do. You are a very large economy now, and you want to be basically flexing and showing your strength in all directions, in trade, in politics, in financial markets itself. Come October, you'll be included as a fifth currency in the reserve IMF basket itself. Pretty hefty weights as well, over 10% of that weight. So I suppose inevitably that would be reflected and should be reflected in the MSCI as well.
But have the problems the last time that prevented China from being included in the MSCI, have they actually been resolved yet? Are you happy with the resolution?
Well, I suppose one can certainly say that there is always room for improvement itself. I mean, we're all surprised, or not entirely surprised, that it was included in the IMF. Mainly because it is still a developing economy itself. But I think they look at it from the political standpoint. Market take I suppose, a more realistic view as well.
Politically driven, do you think?
I think inevitably it will be at the end of the day, that you cannot just ignore China because it is not in the direction of an ideal economy with an open market that one should perceive it to be. But I suppose reality is reality.
More than just a question of labeling, though, because it's also an issue of sequencing, is it not? He raised these concerns about regulators and capital markets not being addressed sufficiently before this inclusion happens. You raised the SDR. You know, the RMB back September last year when they let it go and said, okay, market forces, you determine where it's going to go. I mean, that was tactical because it happened at a time when the renminbi happened to be on the downside. Moving to the downside, right? Now it's a little bit more than they would like. They're starting to step in, but that initial move was partly, or maybe mainly, to get into the SDR, but without having them woven a regulatory safety net for RMB.
Well, yeah, I
think
think
that's out of sequence too, isn't it?
Indeed. I suppose at this juncture in time, it is always difficult to be precisely, timing-wise, all aligned in the same manner itself. Things are a bit out of here and there.
You have to take what you can get,
when you can get it. In this instance itself, I think they are basically pushing many levers across the whole spectrum of the economy, on the political front, on the market front, regulatory front, now the issue on the debt, managing front as well. So I suppose, again, it's always going to be difficult to have the ideal sort of roadmap.
Would you sail in a ship if you weren't absolutely certain that it was seaworthy, and you would say, let's just sail in it anyway. If there's any problems, we'll fix it along the way?
Well, not quite entirely unseaworthy. I suppose generally okay to sail into tough weather because, you have enough.
And when you do hit storms, what are you going to happen? How is China going to react if the stock market were to actually fall?
Or a life jacket on.
Good question indeed. Good question. At the end of the day, we've got hopefully the regulator who are now more seasoned to deal with unexpected to be able to deal with them. So we don't know. I mean, we think they have better experience with dealing with unexpected now. So stormy seas,